Just looking over the last week, then Darrell, you got a first home win on Saturday. A bit of a crazy game on Tuesday, but will you tell me how many sort of steps forward are you seeing from the team, the players?
I think if we go back to last week, I thought the Tuesday night against Oldham, we put in a really good performance. I thought Saturday we battled it out, decent enough first half, grind out second half. Tuesday nowhere near good enough. Listen, we can talk about, we came back into the game and we win the game on penalties, but for me, the standards that I want to be taking our club to was nowhere near it, and the feelings were let known after the game. Yes, there was one or two promising things on Tuesday, so I don't want to be all about negative on it, but some of that performance was unacceptable, and it's a good job they did respond, and they did respond second half. Fabrizio comes on, scores a couple of goals, which would be great for him, and there's one or two things that you sometimes see things in those games that you've gone, okay, that's miles off it, they're miles off it, but then there's one or two where you go, okay, that's good. So pleased, and we showed character to come back in it.
You never, I would imagine as a coach, you never want games like that, but in a way, early in the season, can they be quite useful in terms of setting out, that is absolutely not acceptable, this is what we need?
Well, one good thing is with what has it been, 7-8 games in August the 2nd, what we had 26, it feels like been having a game every bloody day, to be honest with you. So like 26 days, we've had loads of games, and what that has done is for me is that I always want to be a manager that gives people opportunities. Some players have had more opportunities than others, but some players have need to do a hell of a lot more of where I am and where we're going to take this club to again. So there has to be that understanding, and I'm honest with my players, I'm honest with the individuals that I feel that need to be a lot better, and you want to see that response. But certainly what's shown me is that with those games, it's certainly given me a lot of questions in my head that have been answered.
You mentioned Fabrizio because when you come into a new country, a new club, everything that is involved with that, I think getting that first goal is huge, isn't it? So hopefully that's a big part in his sort of being settled into Rovers.
Yeah, for me as well, that the new players that come into the club in the summer, there'll always be a mixture of certain players take a little bit more time to adjust. They're still trying to form connections on the pitch. They always get a little bit more slack from me. I think some of the club players, new players coming in, started well here. Then some need to be better. We get that, but they get a little bit of leeway from me. Is the players that have been here now for a period of time, they ain't getting any leeway from me. They need to show more on a consistent basis that they're going to be able to handle me moving forward. And going back to Fabrizio there, he's great. He's come on, scored a couple of goals. I mean, he's going to give everything. The fans will love him for his work rate alone and how he works, and we'll improve him so he gets used to the English game. But I've been pleased with the impact the other day when he come on.
And Ellis getting a couple of goals as well over the two games as well. You know what you're going to get with him. The fans kind of know what they're going to get, but strikers thrive on that, don't they?
Of course they do. And listen, Ellis, when we get him to the proper fitness levels we need to be, we now find a period where we're like 5-6 weeks now where we're Saturday. So the work we can now get into the boys and change into the week's training plan. Well, hopefully that get them boys up to speed a lot quicker now.
Is that, as a player, I think you want to play as many games as you possibly can. Midweeks are not a bad thing. As a coach, I get the feeling it's very different. You'd much rather have Saturday as much as you can.
I think when you're working with a new group and the changes that's been implemented and everything, I think when you Tuesday, Saturday, I pride myself and my coaches pride the work we can do out on the grass, but when you're trying to connect a new group, it's quick fire game after game after game where we can get some real, what I call proper work, some proper fitness work into it, some proper tactical work into the group, while I've been working things out in my head as well. So I'm looking forward to that breaking period, and I'm hoping after the 5-6 week period we're going to see a hell of a better team out there.
And we talked about some of the forward scoring goals, but last 2 league games, 2 clean sheets, and you've had that sort of settled back 4, back 5, including the keeper. That looks a lot more what you'd want it to be.
Yeah, we've got to continue to do that. It's going to be a good test against the free scoring Grimsby team. They've been high up on the expected goal touches in the box, so we're going to have to defend really well to try and get our 3rd clean sheet, which I think Dan will tell you because he's a stat man. I think it's probably 2-3 years since the club's had 3 clean sheets in a league game, so that's a little bit of a target for the boys to aim at Saturday, and we're going to have to be at our best to keep a clean sheet there.
And obviously they're very much front and centre at the moment after the cup win last night. Does that, you've been involved in great results, and then you've got to have a game 2-3 days later. Can that impact the players at all?
What, their players?
Yeah.
Listen, I can't control that. I don't know the answer to that. All I know is the answer is that we've got to make sure that we're at our best against a team that's unbeaten this season to go and pick up the three points. So my focus is pure solely on that, having a game plan in place to try and go up there and win the game. I've always been the same, that. So it'll be a good test, but it's one we're looking forward to.
It is getting towards the end of the window, thankfully. It's not too much longer left. Are you hoping a busy few days?
Just looking forward to listening to your show, Ed. I really am. You were looking at the Bristol Post online. It's going to keep me entertained on that Monday. I expect a busy day. I hope we have a busy day. We need a busy day, if I'm honest with you, just to strengthen the right areas that we need to strengthen. Me assessing now over this last couple of months as well. There might be one or two going out and freshening the squad up. So I expect a busy day. So hopefully that doesn't disappoint. Just to keep your show alive, Ed, do you know what I mean?
But you've been through a few of these now. Does it get, I won't say easier, but coaches just want the players they want to work with, kind of thing, and have it all done and dusted. Do you get less sort of stressed about it now than perhaps you would have done a few years ago?
Yeah, I do. But you always get to the period where, with the games, and then you were doing the recruitment, you're looking at other players and meetings with recruitment teams, Ricky Martin. You have meetings after meetings after meetings, and still fitting loads of games in. So you are pretty relieved when the window's shut. And like I say, let's assess the business after the window's shut. I think we made some really good signings in the summer. We've had to make massive cuts to what was a really high wage bill last season, highest in the club's history by a country mile. We've had to make those cuts because of the levels that we're down to. So that's always a challenge in itself as a manager, to be able to do that, but still get a competitive squad out there, which hopefully at the end of the window, that's what we can look at and go, right, we can move forward from now.